Albertossy Espinoza is an internationally known actor, dancer, and choreographer. Born in Ecuador and raised in Chicago, he is a proud member of SAG, AFTRA, and ACMA. His dance career began as a theater dance major at Northern Illinois University, where he was scouted by Joseph Holmes' Chicago Dance Theater and offered a company scholarship. He became an apprentice and began touring in national and international tours with the company. While in Chicago, he was also a proud member of Joel Hall Dancers, Teresa y los Preferidos Spanish Dance Company, and Winifred Hahn and Dancers. Albertossy has also toured nationally and internationally with Sol y Duende Spanish American Dance Theater, Walt Disney Productions, Regina Klenjowski Dance Company, the Jambasian Dance Company, Jazz Antigua Dance and Music Ensemble, and Los Angeles Fusion Dance Theater. Albertossy has also worked with Lula Washington Dance Theater, Rosa Negra Flamenco Company, Selena Sanborn Flamenco Dance Company, Company of Strangers, Pacific Ballet Dance Theater, Zina Bethune Theater Dance, the LA Opera in the productions of Carmen, The Barber of Seville, and El Gato Montes, and he currently works with Jazz Antigua Dance and Music Ensemble and Mojacar Flamenco. In 2004, he founded Los Angeles Fusion Dance Theater and made his company debut at Sola Contemporary Dance Festival. Los Angeles Fusion Dance Theater was nominated for a prestigious Lester Holton Award. As a choreographer, Albertossy's work is very extensive. His works have been presented all over the U.S., from Chicago to California, and internationally in Spain, France, Guatemala, Mexico, Canada, Australia, and the Netherlands. In 2012, legendary Dick Van Dyke commissioned Albertossy to choreograph the production of Cabaret, which he was producing. In 2008, Albertossy founded Fusion Performing Dance Academy, a non-profit dance school with the mission to share the art of dance with the underserved community of the East area of Los Angeles, for children with hopes of taking their first dance class, offering classes for adults and providing affordable classes for professionals to continue to excel in their art form. What Fusion Dance Academy has done and provides for the community has been recognized by the City of Los Angeles, the City of Commerce, and the City of Monterey Park, presenting Mr. Espinoza with certificates of recognition for his contribution to the arts. In his pursuit of acting, Albertossy made his debut in one of the lead roles in an independent film, The Price of the American Dream. Since then, he has had a lead role on 5 more features, 3 short films, and a Canadian TV series. Albertossy has been a board member of the Dance Resource Center of Greater Los Angeles, and in 2011 he became the president for the organization and served for 3 more years. Albertossy credits his mother for giving him the strength, will, and drive to push onward in all aspects of life. He is tremendously grateful to his family, friends, and teachers for their love and support, and especially recognizes his good friend and foremost supporter, Caroline James. And it is my pleasure today to introduce you to Albertossy Espinoza. Everyone, welcome to Dance in America. I am super excited today because today's guest is none other than Albertossy Espinoza. This is a guy that I had been dreaming of dancing with for the longest time, and then my wish came true. And so I have him here. He's a wonderful ballet dancer, jazz dancer, contemporary dancer, flamenco dancer. He does it all. Not only that, but he has his own dance company, his own dance school, and he has been dancing for a while, for a long time, and he's just one of the most beloved dancers in the field here in Los Angeles. He's danced with so many people, but I'm gonna let him talk to you guys about his dance career. So welcome, Albertossy.
Thank you, Beatriz. Happy to be here.
Nice.
I was just gonna say, and enjoying the beautiful weather we're having this winter.
Oh my God, yes.
For today anyway.
Absolutely. It's so crazy because it was so cool a couple of days ago, and then all of a sudden it was warm, and then we're gonna be cool again.
Yes.
Yeah, but no, we're so thankful to have you here today, and I'm so glad to be able to introduce you because you are such a powerhouse, such a beautiful performer and dancer, and you have done so many things, and you do so many dance styles. So tell us a little bit about yourself, like what kind of dancing you do, how did you start dancing, how did you get into this world of dance?
Well, I always at age 11,
Mm-hmm.
I knew that I wanted to be in the entertainment business, both as a dancer and as an actor.
Okay.
I would have loved as a singer, but the voice is just not there for that one. Um, but my parents couldn't afford, dance classes or acting classes. So I just kept going. I was a scholar student. And then I think it was I want to say my senior year, or my senior year, I think it was in eighth grade or something like
Okay.
that.
Mm.
A girl that was a dancer
Mm-hmm.
asked me if I would be. We were very good friends, so she asked me if I would be her dance partner.
Okay.
And I was like, I've never danced. I want to dance, but I'm scared. Anyway, long story short, it was for a talent show. She
Okay.
had choreographed a duet. We
Nice.
auditioned,
Uh-huh.
and unfortunately, we didn't make it because
Okay.
there were too many other duets already.
Okay.
So the director of the program of that show said, "Well, we have a singer that may need some backup dancers. Would you be interested in that?"
Oh.
And we were like, "Sure, as long as we're on the stage, I guess, right?"
Uh-huh.
And then for some odd, crazy reason, the lady looked at me and said, "Well, will you choreograph it?"
Okay.
And I was like, okay, well, what's the song? The song was the theme song to Fame,
Oh my God.
which is what made me, Debbie Allen and
Uh-huh.
Fame is what made me want to
Mhm.
dance. When I saw that movie or the show,
Yeah, yeah.
that was like my dream, that made it be my dream. And I
Of
said,
course.
there a possibility, right? So it's quite crazy that of all songs, that would be the song. We did it, they performed it, everyone loved it, and everyone thought I had been dancing for years or something. I'm like, no, that was my first attempt, blah, blah, blah. So then I'm like, you know what? I may have a little something.
Yeah.
So I ended up going to, I mean, actually, that was, yeah, in high school. I ended up graduating
Uh-huh.
and saying, well, I never take a dance class in
Mhm.
my life, but I'm going to go ahead and go in for theater dance.
Nice. Uh-huh.
So yeah, my thought was either they laugh me out or they work with me.
Yeah.
And so yes, without even taking a single class, I decided to major in theater dance at Northern Illinois University,
Nice.
and that's where it all
Began.
really began. Yes, I 3 semesters later, the professional company from Chicago
Hmm.
came into residency there. They
Okay.
did some workshops and residency and performances, and I was approached by the artistic director and the
Okay.
associate artistic
Uh-huh.
director, and offered a company scholarship,
Oh my God.
which then led to an apprenticeship, and then I traveled the world with them, and then
Nice.
that's how my career truly
Oh my God.
went from there. So it was meant to be.
It was meant to
It
be.
was
Yeah.
always deep in here for sure.
And it was those feet, because I always tell people, you have one of the most beautiful dancers' feet that I've ever seen. I mean, it's like, like dancers have to work so hard to get those gorgeous feet. And you have exquisite feet. And so that makes you just like, your lines and everything. Every time you point that foot, you're like, oh my God.
Yes, and it's funny that you say that because that was the first thing I remember. My first modern class, I was laying on my back. They said, "Put your legs up to the ceiling,
Yeah.
flex and point." And when I pointed my feet, the instructor was like, "Where?" And they thought again, and I didn't even know what that meant. I
Yeah.
was like, "What?" So I've been fortunate in that, but I did have to
Yeah,
work.
you were a natural. You came with it. You were
Yeah,
meant to dance.
but unfortunately, I wasn't a natural as far as flexibility. I had no flexibility whatsoever. So I really had to work on that and
Oh,
start
wow.
as a
Yeah,
male
yeah.
dancer. Starting that late was
Wow.
quite hard and painful sometimes, for
Oh my
sure.
God, Albertosi. But that makes it even more wonderful and inspiring, because a lot of times that's what you teach teenagers and I teach teenagers too. And, sometimes they think that we were like, oh, well, of course you can do it because you were born like that. And it's like, no,
Exactly.
you guys have no idea, like all the things that we have to do and how hard we have to work and all the years behind. What they see now is the result of all these years that we have behind us as dancers and performers. They're just seeing the now, but they don't see the past.
the hard work that goes
hard
into
work.
it.
Yeah, exactly. So Albertosi, how do you prepare for an upcoming show or a performance? Do you have any rituals, or do you have any, I mean, you know, like I've been asking, because it's so fascinating to me to see everybody's processes, how every performer and dancer works with this, what they do, you know, even from like spiritual rituals, changes in diet, changes in your like schedule. Like, how do you prepare when you know you have a big show coming up?
Well, it depends because I am fortunate enough that I perform in different genres.
Yeah.
So with some genres, I feel more secure when I'm getting on that stage, and with other genres, I'm a little more insecure. So it always varies. But either way, I do my little prayer before I go on that stage. After my mom passed away in 2016. I dedicated even more so the performances to her, and I speak to her before I go on the stage. But prior to getting to that stage, it's really the rehearsals, working on what I need to work on that particular rehearsals, because there are times where there's like one part or 1/8 count that you're like, I cannot for the life of me get it. And then somehow the day of the show, it does happen. So I am one of those dancers who, when the curtain is closed before the show starts, I am on that stage working on what I need to work on
until the last minute.
Yes. And but then once the curtains open, it's like for me, it's like another world. But there, yeah. So I would say that's my ritual, is just doing a little prayer before I go on that stage, getting ready before. Obviously, when I was younger, it was also that, I could give myself a week of dieting so my body could look a little better. Doesn't work as well anymore. It takes me about a month or so now, but that was also, I did definitely do a little of that, because you do, sometimes, you do let that get to your head sometimes, the critics with weight and whatnot that has to come, especially, like I said, it would depend on the genre, because if I was doing a ballet show with a ballet company and I'm going to be in tights and then it's like even more so. If I'm going to do jazz or modern or flamenco, it varies a little bit more depending on the costumes.
You're more relaxed. Yeah. Absolutely. Oh my goodness, Albertosi. And talking about all of this, do you have any insecurities?
I do. I have plenty of insecurities, but as you get older, not only older, but as you obviously perform more and get that under your belt, the more performances, you learn how to work those insecurities and where they are. Again, going back to depending on the genre that I'm dancing. I think my forte is modern jazz. So I feel definitely more confident when I hit that stage when I'm performing in that genre. When it comes to ballet or flamenco, then my head starts, getting a little more like crazy, because I respect every genre of dance, of course, and I don't have the access financially, basically, to really study flamenco, to really study, and ballet. I was always my height, which talk about an insecurity, because that actually made me quit dance for a little while, because everywhere I went, it's like, oh, you're too short, or you put the ballerina on point shoes. Well, put the girl in heels. Well, so yeah, so it's a lot of insecurities there, but throughout it all, you learn to work with them, work through them, I should say.
Through them,
Yeah, and
that was going to be my next question. I was going to ask you, how do you get out of your headspace? How do you manage then to not let them? Because, insecurities sometimes just creep into you and you're like, oh my God. So what do you do to like, okay, no, I'm not going to pay attention to you?
Right. I try to just focus on the piece or on the dance itself, on the steps. And also what I learned, because I do acting as well, and been through many auditions where you're like, you're not the right person, you know. And even in dance, you know, there's so much rejection when you go to
Yeah.
auditions, that I've learned to finally, it took me a while, it did take me a while, but I learned to be like, if I'm happy with the performance that I just gave, then I'm okay. And even if
Nice.
the critics say something different, you know, or if there are, usually you know, I have people that love me and but that are truly honest, and they'll let
Nice.
me know, you know, it's
Okay.
like, well, yes or no, that kind of thing. So it became where I'm like, I go to myself like, okay, I'm
Mm-hmm.
dancing this for so and so, or I'm dancing this for myself, or I'm
Yeah.
dancing this, you know, and just concentrate on that and let go of the rest,
Nice.
um, and just do my best, which is all we can
Oh,
always do, you know.
of
So
course. Yeah. Oh, that's so nice. So besides dancing and dance rehearsals and teaching, what other things do you do to stay in shape?
well, when we had the gyms, I would
Uh-huh.
try to at least make it to the gym 3 times a week,
Okay.
um, just for myself again. And I I'm very active. I'm constantly active. So I've been fortunate enough, prior obviously to this pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
where I was dancing for 3 companies at the same
Okay.
time,
Nice.
plus teaching. And I also teach Latin rhythm cardio classes.
Okay.
So all that
You're always
combined
moving.
yes, would keep
Nice.
me in shape.
Oh, that's fantastic, Albertosi. So when did you realize that dance was your career? Like I know that, after high school you went into, you went to college and you majored in dance. But when did it really sink in? Because a lot of times I've had a lot of friends too that major in dance, and now, years later, they're not in dance anymore. Like they left it or they decided to go back to school and do something else. But when did you realize, okay, this is my career and this is where I want to be? Like, how did that happen?
It actually happened when that particular company, it's called Joseph Home Chicago Dance Theater.
Okay.
When they offered me that company scholarship, I was actually personally, my family and myself were going through some very bad financial
Uh-huh.
problems.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to be leaving school anyway. The three
Okay.
semesters that I was there, I was like, okay, I guess I'm done. I can't afford it.
Yeah.
I have to go home. I have to help my mother,
Yeah.
etc. And it just so happened that that invitation came in at that
Wow.
same time.
Nice.
So I think when I walked into that professional dance
Mm-hmm.
studio for the first time, and I was, keep in mind, I've only been dancing 3 semesters, but I
Uh-huh.
was thrown in with the company members. I was
Yeah.
taking company
Yeah. Yeah.
classes. Um, and so that made me really realize, like, wow, okay, I'm really in it now. This is really happening. And then at the same time, because I started flamenco, I
Mm-hmm.
took classes at the university.
Okay.
Lila Dole
Mm-hmm.
was my first flamenco instructor,
Okay.
beautiful woman, and I hated it.
Oh my God. And
I
you're so
did.
good at it. Now it's like everybody loves you in flamenco.
Thank you. You know, I remember when because I had to learn sevillanas, which was castanets,
Oh,
footwork,
oh my gosh.
choreography, bracero, arms, the
Uh-huh.
whole thing. And I think we had about what 6 weeks at at
Oh
most.
my God, no.
And it was 2 dances that I had to learn. And it wasn't that didn't come easily to me at all.
Yeah.
So I remember getting so frustrated, leaving those
Oh,
rehearsals so mad, throwing the doors open and just being like, wow, blah, blah, blah. My first, so the company that I went with, Joseph
uh-huh.
Home, you know, they offered me this company scholarship, etc. But my first professional job
Uh-huh.
was a company that the artistic director went to see the performance
Uh-huh.
at the college, at the university,
Yeah.
and approached me and said, I would like you to join our company.
Uh-huh.
So my first professional company and my first professional dance
Uh-huh.
was flamenco
Oh
in the
my God.
flamenco world
Out
of
of
all
everything.
things.
Out of all things, the one that you were like, oh, struggle. Oh my God.
Yes.
Isn't that
And
funny?
it is one of the genres too that has truly opened a lot of doors for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been an incredible journey through that. But yeah, so that's what, when I knew, when those two things happened,
Then
I was
yeah,
like, yeah, this
this
is
is
it. This is
this
what I
is
want to
it. Yeah.
do. This is truly, and of course, been back in my mind,
Mm-hmm.
was Miss Debbie Allen and
Oh.
Fame and that whole thing. I'm like, yes, I'm living that life now, So
Oh, that's so beautiful. That's so cool. It's so amazing that that's how you came and into flamenco and everything. And just so ironic because nowadays, like flamenco is such a strong part of your dance career. And like a lot of people know you as a flamenco dancer and they love you. I mean, everybody's always talking about what a beautiful flamenco dancer you are. So elegant, everything, the lines, the attitude, the spirit. So it's amazing. I love that.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. But I always tell people I dance flamenco.
Uh-huh.
I'm not. I don't consider
You don't
myself a
consider
flamenco
flamenco
dancer.
dancer.
I dance
You
flamenco.
dance
I've been
flamenco.
blessed, yeah, that I can do it. But I would love to be able to say
To
I am a
specialize.
flamenco
Yeah.
dancer. But I definitely, we need
It
to work
I
more on
know
that.
it's frustrating too, because once you're out there in the world as a dancer, it's like we're working as dancers and we dance with different groups, with different companies, and then like we wish we could train more, but then
Hmm.
training includes money, or it's like, how do you train? I wish there was a way that professional dancers could continue their education without having to pay so much money. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? Like if
I
that we
agree.
could, so that we could really like go places and even grow more as artists, because it's like, oh my God, as a dancer, you're already struggling sometimes because the pay is not the best.
Right.
And on top of that, it's like, okay, now I wish I could do more of this, but then it's like, oh, okay, but there's that price tag attached to it. So it's always like a balancing act. You're trying to, work on your field and then also continue your training. And it's like, oh my God, I wish there was some kind of magic formula.
Right. And which is, we'll probably get into it a little bit later, but that is also one of the reasons I created my
Mhm.
nonprofit, the Fusion Performing Dance Academy, not only to give to the kids what I couldn't get
Yeah.
that early, but it was for me, one of the goals is that as well, is to offer
Amazing.
affordable classes to professionals,
Oh, that's
semi-professionals, so they
beautiful.
could continue with their training.
Yeah, that's so important, Albertosi. Oh my God.
I
Yeah, we have
know.
to talk about that in a little bit. So let me ask you, how did you transition from dancer to choreographer? I mean, I know that, you talked about in the past that you choreographed when you were just starting, but once, because you danced with the companies and you were touring, but when was it a calling? Was it something that you wanted to do for a long time? How did that happen?
That actually, I mean, that came naturally. That
Okay,
somehow, I guess I have a very creative mind.
nice.
And I am able to, like watch something. Like I said, I watched a lot of
Uh-huh.
Fame
Mm-hmm.
and try to imitate and try to
Okay.
see and then add my own thought to it. I was extremely shy person,
Oh.
extremely. I mean, introverted, shy. Music went
Uh-huh.
on, I would go and hide. I mean,
Oh,
it's funny that I dance for a living because I wouldn't. My mom would call me to dance at the parties, and I would hide literally
hi.
in the
Yeah.
closet behind toys and everything. Um, but dance, obviously, yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
what also helped me a lot.
Nice. Uh-huh.
Um, but yeah, no, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought.
About choreography.
Yes.
Yes.
So it started. So like I said, I ended up seeing that as a form of expression,
Okay.
and I saw that I enjoyed myself
Also as a
doing it.
creator. Yeah.
Yes, yes, as a creator. But again, talk about insecurities, because then I was like, oh my God, but then people are gonna judge me, and people are gonna say it's bad or it's this or it's that. Those are little things that came into it. But then again, I just learned to say, I just want to express myself
Yeah.
uh, this way and let it happen. And then luckily, I ended up, I've choreographed for musicals, I've choreographed
Yeah,
for
you've done
TV,
so
for film.
much.
Yeah, so I've
Yeah,
been very fortunate in that sense as well,
nice.
and I enjoy it. I love it. I for some reason, somehow, some way, I'm able
Uh-huh.
to do things. I'm one of those choreographers that if I know what what the theme is, or what we're
Yeah.
trying to say, or I can put it together rather
Uh-huh.
quickly.
Nice.
Same thing with music, so it doesn't take me like 6 months.
Okay.
Some
You
people
know what
take
you
that like it
want.
would,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like but we all have our different way of
Of
working,
course.
our
Yeah. Yeah,
process.
exactly.
So I think that's also what has helped me, is that I'm able to do quickly.
Too quick.
And so
Yeah.
sometimes it's been like, can you choreograph something? Blah, blah, blah. Like, sure, okay.
Yeah.
And that then got
Has
me,
got you places. Oh, that's so
yeah,
nice. I love that. Yeah, it
yeah,
helps so much also to have friends or partners, or somebody that loves you, that reminds you of what's important. Now that you were talking about, like that, even as a choreographer, the insecurities, it's always good to have somebody from a different discipline that reminds you.
mhm,
Like in my case, Alfredo is like, he always reminds me. It's like, don't think of dance as dance. Think of dance as art. In
right,
visual artists just paint their paintings, and whoever loves their painting, they love it, and whoever doesn't like it, and then they don't get hurt about it. They're like, they just keep
right,
on painting and painting, regardless of what the audience or the public is saying. But I think for us, sometimes it's hard as dancers and choreographers, because I try telling Alfredo, well, but you don't understand, because our body, like, we are the canvas too, so it's hard to separate it. But I think
right,
in my case, I'm starting to separate the two and be like, well, if somebody didn't like what I did, well, too bad. It was,
exactly.
it was my form of expression, and I'll just move on. So I think it's wonderful, Albertosi, because you've done so much also as a choreographer, which is amazing. And what is one of the most memorable moments of your career, or which, I mean, if you have one or two, and it doesn't have to be as a dancer or a choreographer, or it could be however you want it, whichever. But what are some most memorable moments that you can think of?
For me, it is definitely with dance.
Mhm.
And one of them, incredible moment, was when I was asked by the legendary
Uh-huh.
Mr. Dick Van Dyke
Uh-huh.
to choreograph for Cabaret,
Oh
which
my
is the
gosh.
production he was
Uh-huh.
putting together. And I mean, I grew up watching him,
Uh-huh.
on television. And one day I remember I was on that stage, letting the dancers know how we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And then I turn around and there he is, just
Oh
sitting,
my God.
watching. And it was one
Oh.
of those moments where you're like, is this real? Is this really
Oh, that's
happening?
amazing.
Yeah. So that was quite a moment for me. And also in 2010, um, for once in my career and in my life, I was
Mhm.
introduced in this project that I did um, as an Alvin Ailey dancer.
Oh,
And
wow.
when I heard that, I was like, oh my god, because that would have been a company that I
Uh,
admire, that I would have loved to
to be
dance
part of,
for.
yeah.
But and it was a friend of mine who had invited me to participate in a project they were doing, and
Okay.
it was with the Ailey dancers. But again, when they introduced us, they introduced the whole thing as an Ailey dancers, and I was like,
Oh,
my dream just
oh,
came true at least
yeah.
once. I
At
was
least
gonna
once. That's
call that.
beautiful. Oh
Yeah.
my God, I
And
love that.
yeah, and it was in New York, which I had never
Uh-huh.
been to New York. That was the
Okay.
first time I went there
Oh,
for
wow, how
rehearsals and to
beautiful.
perform. Yeah. So those are some very memorable
Yeah,
um,
moments.
moments for sure in my career.
Oh, that's
Um,
beautiful.
yeah. And in general, I mean, I've been other memories, of course, are like just traveling the world. I would not
Yeah.
have done it if it wasn't for dance.
If it
I
wasn't
know.
because of dance,
And
yeah.
yeah, so I've been all over these different stages, and yeah, they're all just magical moments when you step on a stage in
Oh,
another country or
of
another.
course.
It's beautiful. So definitely, yeah, those
Oh, Albertosi, I
have
love
quite a few.
that. That's so beautiful. Those are beautiful, memorable moments. Yeah. So, if you could change anything about the dance world, like what would it be and why?
the dance world.
Yeah, like, you know, the dance world that we're in right now. Like, if you could change anything about it, what would you change and why?
Well, at this point, and the pandemic. No, just kidding.
I'm just kidding.
So we can get back to it. I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I guess it's basically it's like what you said, which is a goal that I've been wanting to
Mhm.
do, and hopefully will one day do. And that is, yeah, you know, make dance more accessible, not only to the underserved community,
Mhm.
but also to what you just mentioned. You know,
Yeah.
the professionals and semi-professionals that need their training, but they can't because of the financial status. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I think that would be one thing. It's like just to have more access of that, have more
Mhm.
companies do that, or more organizations be able to offer that. Because I know most studios, you know, they do offer a discount
They
for
do.
professionals,
But you know
but
how we
even
are as
so,
dancers. Like, we wish we could take class every single day.
exactly,
Not like
exactly, right.
twice a week. You're like, no, I want to be taking class every single
Like
day.
like we did when we first started, like going, you know,
Yeah, when we
whether
were
it's
in
in the
training.
university, yeah, I was
Yeah,
dancing, you know, 5, 6 days a week. It's like,
exactly.
or when I was in the company,
Yeah.
you know, the Joseph Holmes, we were there 6 days a week.
Yeah, yeah. It's like you're
So it's like you
every
miss it.
day.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you do feel the progress. It's amazing when you are dancing every day and you're taking class. You see how, like, you know, how things just like it's almost like whatever correction they apply to you today, you go back to the studio tomorrow and it's fresh and things click. And then whatever you couldn't do 2 or 3 days ago, all of a sudden you're doing it.
right.
And it's
Yes,
such a wonderful feeling.
because that's the other thing. It's like you never stop learning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you never stop
Exactly.
learning, and that. So it's always nice to be able to get that,
Mm-hmm.
extra push and that extra help.
Exactly. So tell us how Dance Fusion Performing Arts Academy, that's the whole name, right?
Fusion Performing Dance Academy.
Yes. How did that come about? When did it start? Tell us a little bit about it, and what communities it serves, and the purpose. I want to hear all about it, because I mean, I have danced with you, but we never really sit down to talk about it. So tell me more about that.
Well, Fusion Performing Dance Academy came about because, like I said, I wanted to. I didn't start dancing until I went to college or
Okay.
to university, but I knew at age 11 that I wanted to
That you
dance.
want it. Okay.
So I didn't want others to have to wait to go to university or to
Mm,
college to take
yeah,
their first dance class.
of course.
So my goal was to be able to have a nonprofit organization where
Beautiful.
we can offer that.
Mm-hmm.
The goal, of course, would be to offer for free.
Mm-hmm.
But then, you know, I tried that and it didn't work too well because
Yeah.
I didn't have the funding enough to really keep that going. But even now, we're at this point, right now, we serve the East LA community,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
and the City of Commerce, and all surrounding areas. I mean, we have people coming in from different, you know,
Yeah.
parts of it's open to LA. But right, our location is based it's East LA.
Okay.
Um, and I again, and like we offer classes for $5 a class,
Oh my God, Albertosi, that's
you know, which
amazing.
is, yeah. But for the community that we serve,
Of
it's, you
course.
know, it can add up
That's
if you
true.
have 2 kids, or it can add up if the kid wants to take 3 classes a week. Still
Yeah.
becomes a big thing. So things like that. So that's why in 2008
Mm-hmm.
is when I created
When you
Fusion.
created it.
Yes, founded, and everyone were like, "Are you crazy?" Because it was during luck. It happened during the recession,
Oh wow.
2008.
Mm-hmm.
But it just so happened that at that point I had that opportunity to go for it. So
Mm-hmm.
I did. I was just like, you know
You
what? I'm
just
just gonna go
jumped.
for it
Mm-hmm.
and go, you know, and try it and make that dream come true.
Of course.
Um, so yeah, so we've been around for 12 years now,
Nice. Mm-hmm.
and and I have students. I have our current hip hop student, Erika Lopez. She started with me when she was about 6, 7 years old,
Okay.
and she is now 21,
Uh-huh.
and she teaches our hip hop class.
Oh, how
So moments
beautiful.
like those are
Yeah.
that's what gets me. And it's like,
Of
yes.
course.
And I had students who came in and took their first dance class at Fusion,
Uh-huh.
and then ended up going to a performing arts high school.
Oh, that's
And
beautiful.
so, yeah,
You
so
have helped
those,
so many kids and you have opened the doors. Yeah, it's for them to be, yeah.
yeah. And like my thing is like, I would say I want them to have a home away from home,
Oh,
and that's what Fusion is for
that's
students.
beautiful. And are you guys still having your fundraiser right now?
Yes, we have
Yes, let's
the
talk about that. So,
GoFundMe.
because when I put this up, I want people to know what a wonderful thing you're doing, and that the fundraiser is still happening. And like I always tell people, it's $1, $5. Think about it.
Exactly.
Like when you go to Starbucks and you pay 4.25, you could give at least one day 4.25 to Fusion.
Right. Yes.
Mhm.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
I started the GoFundMe because, like many
Okay.
other places, of course, the pandemic has hit
Yeah.
us
Yeah. Yeah.
hard. And rent and bills still have to get paid.
Yeah.
But we can't do our annual two. We normally annually have two fundraisers, two big
Okay.
fundraisers to keep the program going. So those had to be canceled because they're performance
Of
based.
course.
And so I started a GoFundMe because as time is going by and
Yeah.
nothing is really changing as far as letting all the studios open, and again, like
Mhm.
before, I've lost a lot of my rentals, which is sources of income.
Of course.
And so I don't want to lose our space. I don't want to lose the home away from home for my
Yeah.
kids, for our students. And so that's where every
Especially
penny goes to that.
for people that don't know, opening a dance studio takes a lot of effort, because it's not just finding the right space, the open space, the high ceilings, but it's also restructuring the floors, adding all these things, adding the mirrors, the ballet bar.
Yes.
So when a dance studio closes, it's not just a space and just grab a couple of bags and leave. If a dance studio closes, there is so much work that comes down with it. So it's like
Right.
trying to prevent that from happening is so important.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the location that we're in at right now, we love very much. We've
Mm-hmm.
been there now 7 years out of the 12
Yes.
years that we're here,
Yes.
been around.
And we love
So,
rehearsing there too. Everybody
yeah.
that has come to the space, we love rehearsing in that space with the roll gate and the fresh air coming in. And
Yes.
it's so central, like from every neighborhood in Los Angeles, they can just get to Fusion.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the GoFundMe it's for that, is to keep our
Nice. Okay.
studio open.
And to
And
keep it going, to keep all the
yes,
programs going.
until
Mhm.
hopefully everything goes back to normal, per se.
Yes, absolutely. So, talking about Fusion and talking about the students, tell us about a person that has made a big impact on you and why.
Um, well, for me, like I said, the person that I credit a lot with making me really truly want to dance is Miss Dan, which I had the privilege of meeting a few years back, which that alone was also a dream
Okay.
come true. Um, but oh gosh, I would say because my
Mm-hmm.
mommy, she was a dancer for in Ecuador,
Okay.
professionally, like on television and all that. I think like for a year,
Oh,
um,
nice.
and so I think that's where I got it
Uh-huh.
from her, because I'm the only one in the family who went in that field. And I just remember her saying one time, she's like, I'm living my dreams through you.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So that made me really then want to, you
Of
know,
course, do it for her. It's like you
yeah,
do it for her and you, both of you. And
right.
how
Yeah.
wonderful that she got to see you do so much.
Yes, I know. We were blessed.
Yeah, exactly. I love the pictures, all the pictures that you have of her, and it's just so amazing, and it's beautiful. And it's beautiful to see that you do. I mean, I have danced with you in all these shows, and it's true that you do pay homage to your mom, and you always have her in your mind when we perform, which is it's a beautiful thing, because we need all the good energy we can have
Yes. Yes.
from all our spirits up in heaven. So if is there any advice that you will give young dancers? Because yeah, like I was telling you off camera, I'm doing this basically, especially for our teenagers and our dance students and all of those kids that are looking up to us and see us dancing and performing, and they don't really know what the real dance world is like. So what advice would you give these young boys and girls?
I would say definitely if it's something you enjoy, something you love, go for it. Don't give up. Um, Always stay strong and be yourself. We are all different, and actually, that's a good thing. You know, some of us are shorter, some of us are taller, but we all have something to offer. So it's not depending. Sometimes you get lucky and you get like right there.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's a pretty hard road, but it's worth it. And the hard work and your dedication will get you there. And dreams, believe me, I am one who could say that dreams do come true. I know that I dreamt of being on certain stages, both in Chicago, where I'm from, and here in Los Angeles when I moved out here, and I have been on them.
Nice.
Those dreams came true some way, somehow. It didn't happen overnight, but it happened. Yeah, so definitely just keep working hard on on your field and what you like, and go for it. Just always go for it.
Nice, nice. Thank you so much, Albertossy.
Sure.
Thank you. I love that. It has been so wonderful to like pick your brains and to talk to you and get all the inspiration and wisdom we can get from like beautiful dancers, because you're such an inspiring dancer.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
thank
and it has always been such a pleasure to dance with you and just to observe you, the way you move, the way you stretch, how you carry yourself, because those things do cause an impact on others.
Oh, thank you. Nice
yeah. No, we're so honored, and I'm so glad that you took this time today to talk to Dance in America. And I don't know if is there anything else that you would like to share with people, with everybody that is going to see this video?
Well, personally, I would like to thank you too for doing this. Dance in America, it's something definitely needed, because it's true. A lot of people, they know choreographers and dancers who are on television at this time, but there are so many more out here and out in America, period. And of all ethnicity, and working, and of all ethnicities and all levels. So definitely, I thank you for that.
Of course.
And and then I would say that, there's still more to come, which is a good thing. I'm very optimistic that things will work out again, both for dance and acting as well. Like I said, as an actor too.
And you're an actor too. Before we finish, we didn't. I mean, I'm focusing on dance, but let's just a little bit. So, what kind of acting do you do? Is it dramatic acting, comedy, everything, character acting?
I think I'm more of a dramatic actor.
Okay.
But I do. I mean, I've done comedic roles as well. And one thing that I was told that I'm apparently very good at is playing a villain.
Oh, okay.
Go figure. Okay. But yeah, so my love or my passion as far as acting goes is definitely like television and film, and drama, like drama series.
Nice.
But I've been to, I'm funny. I enjoy doing the comedic roles as well. Yeah, but
beautiful.
Yeah, and actually, like, dance helps with that too. Because people forget that as dancers, we're also actors, because we are telling a story through our body, but also through our faces and the emotion that we're bringing to that piece.
Yeah.
So I think both, are a nice little
they complement each other so much. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. I think that's another reason why you're such a beautiful dancer, is because it's not just that you're a dancer, but you really carry whatever it is that we're trying to present, that that the choreographer is trying to say, or whichever character you're playing. Not only do you have the beautiful lines, like the very elegant, sophisticated, technical dancing, but then on top of that, you are such a good actor. So then it's a complete package where you have everything. So no wonder people always want to watch you.
Well, thank you.
Well, when we have danced together, like my friends come to see the shows and they're like, oh my God, Albertossy. And some of my kids are like, I have a crush on Albertossy.
Well, that's what I was going to say too, though. It's like, but it also helps to have a beautiful partner to complement you. That's why when we first started dancing together, I remember I was like, I love it because I just felt an energy that we both share for dance, and the arts in general. And then I personally think, like, watching videos and being told by people that we complement each other very well. And for me, it's again, not only, mostly because of height and things like that. It's always so hard to find that partner that you can that I can really work with. And I was fortunate enough to, when we started partnering, I was like, this is perfect. It works out. It's great.
Amazing. It's so wonderful. I know the feeling is mutual, Albertossy. Thank you so much for everything that you do, for all the beauty that you bring to this dance form, for inspiring the rest of us that have the pleasure to dance with you. And people, don't forget, Dance Fusion still taking donations. So I'm going to put a link at the end so that anybody that watches this video, please go to it and give your donations, because we want to keep this space open and functioning so that next year, when everything reopens, is there for everybody and for the community.
Yes, definitely. Please, thank you. Of course, thank you in advance.
Of course. Well, this is it for the interview. So thank you so much, Albertossy. Thank you for being part of this today.
Thank you. Very happy to have done it.
Oh.